Namo Buddhaya. I pay homage to all Buddha, Bodhisattva, and all teachers. May all parents and sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering and be happy. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Rina Mariana, a student of Buddhist religious education at Institute Nalanda. This video is created to fulfill an assignment for the course English for Buddhism under the guidance of Mr. Freddy Antonius. In this presentation, I will discuss a topic titled is Wisdom in Buddhism. In daily life, we often think that wisdom is the same of intelligence or knowledge. However, in Buddhism, wisdom has a deeper meaning. Before we explore the concept of wisdom in Buddhism in more depth, it is important to pause and reflect on a few guiding questions. The first is, what does it truly mean to be wise? Is wisdom simply the result of intelligence, education, or amount of knowledge a person possesses? How can wisdom be observed in daily behavior? And the last is most important, does wisdom actually reduce suffering both within ourselves and in our relationship with others? These questions are not meant to be answered immediately, rather they serve as a framework for reflection as we move toward the teaching on wisdom in Buddhism. So, what is wisdom, panya or prajna? Wisdom or panya in Pali and prajna in Sanskrit is the ability to see reality as it truly is. In Buddhism, wisdom is not merely intellectual knowledge or the accumulation of information. A person may know many teachings yet still lack wisdom if the knowledge has not transformed the mind. So it arises when the mind understands phenomena without greed, hatred, and delusion. Seeing reality as it actually is yatha bhuta jnana dassana. It includes direct understanding of anicca or impermanence. All conditioned things are constantly changing and cannot last forever. And the second is the dukkha or unsatisfactoriness or suffering. Because things are impermanent, they cannot provide lasting satisfaction. The third is anatta or non-self. There is no permanent, unchanging self behind our experiences. Therefore, wisdom in Buddhism is not theoretical or speculative knowledge. It is direct realization of truth thought, clear awareness, and insight. When wisdom arises, attachment weakens, misunderstanding fades, and the path toward liberation from suffering becomes possible. Now, we see the wisdom and the Fourth Noble Truth. Wisdom in Buddhism means directly understanding the Four Noble Truths, not merely knowing them intellectually. It is not enough to memorize or repeat. That teaching through wisdom arises when he personally releases them in our own experiences. In the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the Buddha established the Four Noble Truths as the first principle of wisdom. He declared, this is suffering, this is the origin of suffering, this is the cessation of suffering, and this is the path leading to the cessation of suffering. So the first noble truth teaches that life involves dukkha, which include not only physical pain but also dissatisfaction, stress, and instability of conditioned existence. The second noble truth explains that dukkha is caused by tanha or craving. This craving is attachment to pleasure, existent and even not existent. Because he clings to what is impermanent, suffering inevitable arises. The third noble truth declares that dukkha can be ended. This means liberation is possible when craving is abandoned, suffering ceases. The fourth noble truth teaches that the path leading to the end of suffering is the Noble Eightfold Path, which include right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and the right concentration. Therefore, wisdom is not simple believing in the truth by directly understanding them in one's own life. When a person truly sees how craving causes suffering, attachment behind to weaken, and the path toward liberation becomes clear. Now we see the wisdom and the Eightfold Path. Wisdom in Buddhism is inseparable from the Noble Eightfold Path. Among the 8 factors, 2 belong to the group of wisdom or panya. There are samadhi, right view, and sama sankappa is a right intention, as explained in the Magga Vibhaga Sutta. Right view means understanding suffering, the origin of suffering, the cessation of suffering, and the path leading to the cessation of suffering. In other words, right view is a correct understanding of the Four Noble Truths. Without right view, a person may be intelligent or knowledgeable, but cannot be called truly wise because wisdom requires seeing reality correctly. Now we talk about right intention refer to the intention that direct the mind toward liberation. It includes the intention of renunciation, the intention of loving kindness, and the intention of the non-harming. This intention counteract craving, it will, and cruelty, which are the root of suffering. So together, right view and the right intention form the foundation of wisdom. Right view clarify how things truly are, while right intention align the heart and mind with the understanding. When these 2 factors are present, the path of practice naturally leads toward freedom from suffering. Now we talk wisdom and the 3 characteristics. The Buddha taught that all phenomena can be understood through 3 universal characteristics. They are impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and non-self. As stated in the Dhammapada verses, the first is all conditioned things are impermanent. This means that everything that arises due to causes and the condition is constantly changing. Nothing remains the same from moment to moment. The second is all conditioning things are unsatisfactory because things are impermanent and unstable. They cannot provide lasting happiness or security. When we cling to them, disappointment and suffering inevitable flow. So the third is all phenomena are non-self. This means that there is no permanent, independent self behind our experiences. What we call self is only a collection of changing physical and mental processes. One who sees their 3 characteristics with wisdom becomes liberated from suffering. When impermanent is clearly seen, attachment weakens. When non-self is understood, clinging to I and mind fades. Therefore, wisdom is not measured by how much one knows, but by the ability to see impermanence clearly and not cling to it. Now we see in Paticca Samuppada or Praticca Samuppada. Another essential foundation of wisdom in Buddhism is the teaching of divine origination. So this profound teaching is explained in detail in the Mahanidana Sutta. The Buddha taught that suffering does not arise from a permanent self or an unchanging soul. Instead, it arises due to conditioned causes. Everything that exists comes into being because of specific condition, and when those conditions ceases, the phenomena also ceases. So at the root of this chain is avijja or ignorance. This is a destroyed perception of reality. And then we see because of the ignorance, craving arises. Craving leads to clinging, becoming, birth, and ultimately aging and death. This is the entry cycle of suffering condition through this chain of condition is process. So panya or wisdom or the function of penetration ignorance. When wisdom arises, ignorance is weakened and actually destroyed. When ignorance ceases, the cause change is broken, and when the change is broken, suffering no longer continue. Therefore, liberation occurs through deep insight into conditionally the understanding that all phenomena arise and pass away due to causes and conditions. Seeing this clearly is the essence of wisdom. Now we see in Theravada perspective. In the Theravada tradition, wisdom is developed through a systematic and gradual path. This path is known as the threefold training, which consists of Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. Sila, or moral discipline, forms the foundation of the path. It involves ethical conduct in body and speech, which help prevent unwholesome action that disrupt the mind. When moral discipline is well established, the mind becomes less burdened by emotions and inner conflict. And we see now the samadhi or concentration is the training of the mind through meditation. Through concentration, the mind becomes calm, stable, and focused. This mental stability is essential of seeing things clearly without distraction or agitation. And the third is panya or wisdom, rises from a mind that is grounded in moral discipline and refined thought concentration. Wisdom enables this direct insight into the nature of reality, particularly impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and non-self. This is the system path leading to inner understanding and liberation. Now we see in Mahayana perspective. In Mahayana Buddhism, wisdom or prajna is not only the ability to see inner reality clearly but also the realization of the profound interdependence of all beings. Wisdom in this tradition includes understanding emptiness or shunyata, which means that all phenomena exist only in dependent causes, condition, and relationship. Because all beings are interconnected, wisdom naturally gives rise to karuna or compassion. When one realizes that there is no separated, independent self, the boundary between oneself and other becomes less rigid. As a result, concern from the suffering of others arises naturally. In Mahayana thought, wisdom and compassion are inseparable. Wisdom without compassion would be incomplete, and compassion without wisdom can become misguided. True enlightenment requires both clear insight into reality and active dedication to the welfare of all beings. Therefore, in the Mahayana perspective, the highest experience of wisdom is not withdrawal from the world, but compassion, action grounded in deep understanding. Now we move to Vajrayana perspective. In Vajrayana Buddhism, wisdom is understood as the direct recognition of the true nature of the mind, known as Rigpa. Unlike conceptual understanding, this wisdom is immediate, non-dual, and experiential. In this tradition, the mind's ordinary patterns, such as desire, aversion, and confusion, are not rejected or surprises. Instead, the tantric meditation method, mental energy is transformed into insight, emotion, and thought are recognized as expression of the mind's luminous and empty nature. Wisdom in Vajrayana means directly recognizing the nature of mind itself beyond subject and object, beyond dualistic thinking. When the recognition is stable, liberation is experienced not as something attained in the future, but as the realization of what has always been present. Therefore, in the Vajrayana perspective, wisdom is not the gradual elimination of experiences, but the direct and non-dual knowing of reality as it is. Now, when we speak about wisdom in Buddhism, the highest example is Gautama Buddha himself. He attained perfect enlightenment through deep meditation and swearing, philosophical and spiritual questions logically and practically teaching the Dhamma for approximately 45 years without contradiction, and transforming society understanding of suffering and liberation. He being called Sammasambuddha or perfectly self-enlightenment one, and then using skillful means upaya kausalya according to the listener condition. His wisdom was not theoretical but born from direct experiences. Now we talk about the story of Kisah Gautami. The story of Kisah Gautami is one of the most powerful illustrations of wisdom in action. Kisah Gautami was a young mother whose only child has died. Overwhelmed by grief, she carried her child's body from house to house, begging for medicine to bring him back to life. When she approached the Buddha, He told her to bring a mustard seed from a house that had never experienced death. Full of hope, she went from home to home, city to city. However, in every home she visited, she heard the same response. Someone in the family had died. Gradually, she realized that the is universal. No household is free from those. Through this direct experience, Kisha Gautami understood anicca, the truth of impermanence. Her personal suffering transformed into wisdom. She saw that death is not a personal injustice, but a natural condition of existence. This story teaches that wisdom often arises not from abstract theory, but from deeply understanding life realities. By seeing impermanence clearly, attachment softens and the heart moves toward acceptance and liberation. Now we see the next story of the parable of the poisoned arrow. Ignorance leads to unnecessary speculation and confusion. Understanding focus on ending suffering. So the story is the parable of the poisoned arrow, illustrates a crucial aspect of wisdom in Buddhism. This teaching is found in the Chula Malunkaya Putta Sutta. The Buddha compared human suffering to a person who has been struck by a poisoned arrow. Instead of immediately removing the arrow, the person instead of knowing who saw it, where the soldier came from, what the arrow was made of, what many others detail. Because of this delay, the person died before the arrow is removed. This parable shows that ignorance leads to unnecessary speculation and confusion. When the mind is trapped in speculative thinking, it avoids addressing the real problem, suffering itself. Wisdom, therefore, is the ability to focus on what truly matters, understanding suffering and removing its causes, rather than become lost in abstract or metaphysical questions. Wisdom directs attention toward ending suffering here and now. Now we see the stage of developing wisdom. In Buddhism, wisdom is developed through three main stages: sila or moral discipline, training behavior and speech so the mind is free from guilt and conflict. And the second is samadhi or concentration. Meditation stabilizes and clarifies the mind. Panya or wisdom, seeing phenomena as impermanent, unsatisfactory, and non-self, leading to liberation. Now we see the practical path to wisdom across three traditions. The first from Theravada has a three-step is Pariyati, Patipati, and Pativedha. This means study, practice, and realization. One step study the teaching, then apply them in meditation and daily life, and finally realize the truth directly. Wisdom develops through insight into impermanence and non-self. And the second is a Mahayana, Sruta, Chitta, Bhavana, hearing, reflection, meditation. One listens to the Dharma, reflects deeply upon it, and cultivate meditation insight. Prasna, release, emptiness or shunyata, inseparable from compassion. Wisdom and compassion arise together, and the truth is a Vajrayana, has a few meditation and conduct. One direct recognition of the mind nature or Ripa or the Yese. Wisdom transforms experiences rather than renunciating. Instead of renouncing, the word of the practitioner transforms perfect perception inwardly. Now we see how we measure wisdom. In Buddhism, wisdom is not measured by a title or intelligence, but by reduction of greed or lobha, reduction of hatred or dosa, reduction of delusion or moha. Not being easily shaken by praise or blame, acting with compassion and balance. A wise person has a remain calm in conflict. It cannot overly reactive, sees problems, thought, cause and effects, and prioritize the rather good. Now we see the last slide is the conclusion. Wisdom in Buddhism is the culmination of moral discipline and the meditation practice. It is rooted in understanding the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path. Gautama Buddha is the highest example of wisdom because he attained perfect enlightenment and taught the path of liberation for all beings. True wisdom is seen in inner transformation, not merely in knowledge but in the reduction of suffering within oneself and others. Wisdom is the highest culmination of Buddhist practice and the means to end dukkha within samsara. Thank you very much and see you. Bye bye.